I'm Sam Coleman, your host, and welcome to the Hoops to Home show. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. I used to play basketball and now I sell real estate. Here, we grow again. What's up, everybody? It's Sam Coleman. Thank you. If it's your first time joining us, I'm your host, Sam Coleman, Hoops to Home show, and I thought, why not interview my wife, bring her on the podcast for my very first episode. If you do know me, I tried to start this podcast about a year ago. That was right when my best friend Rashad passed away, and I kind of lost the motivation to do it. But now I feel like it's a great time to bring it back, and I wanted to bring my wife on because we get a lot of compliments. Not to say that we're the best married couple ever, but we do like to share our story because we can inspire other people, especially being a young millennial married couple in business. So my beautiful wife, Kara, welcome to the Hoops to Home show.
Thanks, babe.
How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
Are you happy that you're my first guest?
I feel honored that you actually chose me to be your first guest.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we're actually going to give you guys 6 episodes. We've been together 6 years. We've been married for 4, right? So we're going to take you guys the opposite direction, how it's going versus how it started. Right. So we're going to start now and everybody gets to see us now. Right. And we get people that comment on my business. Sam, how'd you get to where you are in your business? And literally, I'm only this person in my business because of my wife. Like, there's no way that I can go out and be successful if I didn't have the backbone of Kara. And I'm not saying that for the camera. Like, literally, my business transformed in 2020 because we fell in love on a different level than when we first started dating. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, especially thinking about how our life was a year ago to where we're at now. The transformation is incredible.
Yeah. So while we're starting backwards again, just because we want to give everybody an idea of what it's like to go from point A, right? When you're first dating somebody, everything's good, right? And then you look into the future a few months or years, however long it takes, most people kind of lose that flare, that fire, right? And then you kind of rekindle. And we hear all these stories all the time. People have been married 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, etc., and they end up getting divorced. So we've made it a point in our marriage, right, to do checkups, right? To do all these things, to put all these systems in place to make sure that, one, she still like me, right? One, I still like her, right? We still want to do this thing, and that we can go the distance. We can go to the end of our lives together as the Colemans, right? So that's why we're starting from here, and we're going to take you guys back the opposite way. So one quick question, right? Because I want everybody to get to know you. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, babysitters, we got 3 kids, right? 2 live here in Las Vegas, right? We got unlimited babysitters. You can FaceTime them whenever you want. And if you needed them, if you missed them so much and you needed to see them, they could fly to you for a day, a couple hours, and then they can go back. Where would you go if you had that type of freedom?
Are you the unlimited babysitter? Or are you coming with me?
No, I'm coming with you. If you want me to come, this is your dream.
I'm joking.
I better be coming with you.
I think for me, it would be probably Greece or Italy or somewhere in that part of. Can I change my answer?
Sure. This is your dream. Where would you go?
Can you cut that out?
No, we're not cutting out. This is live. We're going to give the people. This is Kara Coleman. This is welcome to my life, everybody.
Oh God, I can't make a decision.
Imagine trying to pick something to eat.
I can never make a decision.
All right, you got 3 places to go.
Bora Bora, Italy, and the Maldives.
The Maldives.
Whatever.
There we go. Maldives, tomato, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where I would choose.
So this can actually be an icebreaker. I went to public school, she went to public school, but one of us can count better than the other. How long have we been together?
7 years.
She'll never know.
7 years.
May of next year will be 7 years.
Whatever. It feels like forever.
Can I see you in the other room for a minute?
No.
It seems like forever. Come on, man. Well, my next question for you is, what is it like being married to me? And the reason why I asked that question is because people get to see I only let people see a certain side of me on social media because I'm very focused on my business. And I personally believe, whether it's success or failure, people they only gravitate towards you when they want to, right? So if you're doing successful, they gravitate towards you. Yeah, good for you, right? Or you got the haters, right? And then if things are going bad for you, everybody want to talk about you, but nobody. The people that are there for you when you're down and failing, they're few and far between. So in my personal life, I don't like to show people either one, right? Because if you're not going to celebrate me with my failures, don't celebrate me with my success. For me, you're all in or you're out, right? There's no middle ground. There's no gray areas, black and white. So how long have we been married?
6 years.
6 years.
4 years together. 6 years.
Thank you. I told you I went to public school. She went to public school. The curriculum is just a little bit different.
We both went to public school.
You give me a different answer every time. Yesterday was something different.
I have mom brain. Shout out to all the moms.
Well, we've been married for 4 years, together for 6. May will be 7, right? I remember all the anniversaries, right? All right.
Yeah.
So tell the people, what is it like being married to me?
So being married to you is pretty exciting and interesting. I think no day is the same. So you'll hear a lot where married couples, everything kind of feels like, you're living like Groundhog Day, but not with Sam. So I would say that you're very committed. You are very opinionated, and when something, why'd your face change like that?
I'm listening.
Well, it's fun because I'm also very opinionated. And so sometimes we get into these, headbutt situations. And, even when one of us has to be wrong, you still, at the end of the day, know how to apologize. So you're very empathetic to me at times.
That's been acquired.
Yes, it's definitely been acquired.
That's a 2020 skill that I learned.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I feel like you, and another thing that I love about being married to you is that I've loved you in 6 different ways, I feel like. So I feel like every year that we've been together, I've loved a different Sam, but it's always evolved to be a better version of you. And some of the things that we have gone through to get to each version of ourselves have not been easy. Some have been really fun to do together. But I just think that that's like the most exciting part about being married to you.
Awesome. I did not expect that. And for everybody that's listening and seeing, I wanted this to be organic, and I wanted her to give the real and not like a generic, oh, let's make it all fuzzy type thing. But so that's really cool to hear. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
No, definitely not all rainbows and butterflies. And to give you guys a little context of what the next episode will be about, it'll be our 2019, which was completely different than our 2020. What you guys are seeing now is it's a different dynamic in the midst of a lot of chaos. It's a beautiful version of what our love is and what's to come, based on what we had to go through to get here. But that's super cool. I like where we are in 2020 in the midst of everything that's happening.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. All right. So next question. Speaking of 2020, what are some of your wins of 2020? What would you say a win is? Not necessarily with me, with us, or anything, but what are your wins of 2020?
Yeah. So I would say personally, a win of 2020 would be that I finally feel like I'm in the right position in my career. I'm finally, doing what I love and back in the technology field. So I think just finally getting into a company that I believe in, and I can actually truly go out and be proud of the work that I'm doing. That's a personal win.
Awesome.
Do you want more than that?
I mean, if you got more, what are some other wins?
Yeah, I mean, I think also, where we're at right now with being, parents of 2 small children, we finally are in a little bit of we have a rhythm going on. Whereas after we had Gianna, it was like a train wreck. So I'm just kind of happy that we have, a flow going, and then obviously us, how good our relationship is. I feel like we're best friends again, and I feel like we love each other. We're in love with each other.
That's my dog. I appreciate that for sure. I'm sorry. Everybody that knows me knows that how serious I take my real estate business, and I repeat and affirm everything. And one thing I say all the time, you'll hear, I can appreciate that. And I promise, if you are in my immediate circle, you will hear that a zillion times. So that's why she laughed when I said I can appreciate that. That's a part of my empathy, right? So I'm working on that. I want to repeat and approve, right, your feelings, her thoughts, right? That's something that we struggle with even at the beginning of this year, right? Me being black and white, no gray area, very direct, right? But that's something that has changed over, right, the last several months. Yeah. Awesome. Well, what are some of your L's? What L's did you take this year? Well, except for the one the Browns took from the Ravens.
Oh my gosh.
Just saying that we're a house divided.
Whatever. Seriously. We're not gonna go there. What were else that I took in 2020? Well, I lost my job when I was 7 months pregnant. So I feel due to the pandemic. So I think at the time that felt like a loss, but now that I look back on it, it was a blessing. God really closed a door that needed to be closed to allow me to walk into one that he opened. So I think, like, and this is just me as a mom thinking, I think when you become a mom of multiple children, a little bit of your independence dies every time. So just being transparent. Just probably losing a little more me time. But hey, it is what it is.
Right. And you were 7 months pregnant. Yeah. So we're about to have, well, you're having a baby. I was there. Yeah. Right. You're about to have Layla. Yeah. And you're 7 months pregnant, 2 months before delivery. And then the pandemic hits and then you're unemployed.
Yeah. And I think our biggest worry was, how are we going to have a baby? We won't have health care. Right. That was mine, at least.
Well, same. So God actually sustained us through that time, because my business, we had about 2 weeks in March where after she lost her job, we're like, we're about to have a baby, no health benefits, and everybody has to stay home. How am I going to sell real estate when we can't leave the house? Like, what in the world is happening? Yeah. For about 2 weeks, I was like, man, just shaking in my boots. Like, do I have to liquidate our stocks? What are we going to have to do to survive? And thank God, right? God opened the doors, and we were able to pay for, we just been paying for the health benefits out of pocket, right? Yeah. Which was a significant amount on top of what we already spend on our monthly, right? And then we were able to keep our girls in school and things like that. Just so many blessings came from in that somewhat of a disaster, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then we ended up having Layla, right? You got to be that stay-at-home mom that you never wanted to be, right?
Shout out to y'all, because I'll never do that again.
We learned, right? We got to learn that being a stay-at-home mom is not for Kara, right? All. Yeah. And it's definitely not beneficial to me as the husband, because coming home, she's done lost it. She's handing me kids like it's your turn, right? And then making me burn everything in the garage before I come in, because she thinks everything has the swine flu, the pandemic. I got corona on this leave. I got, just taking everything up. Like, all this stuff is happening at one time. And we're about to have a baby. And she just lost her job. Like, all this stuff. But we somehow, God sustained us. And we, literally, we went the opposite way. It was about 2 weeks where we were kind of, nervous. But after that, my business took off. And then, literally, things just fell in place, piece by piece after that. Yeah. All right, so my next question, what is it like to be a working professional mom, a corporate mom, and wife? Like, you work full time, you're a mom of two, and you're my wife.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think it's a blessing. I got a lot of negative feedback when we decided to put Layla in daycare at 2 months so I could go back to work. But, I think that everybody has their own idea of what it looks like to be a working mom or to be a mom. And for me, like Sam said, I'm a happier, healthier woman when I have my job, and especially a job that I love. So what is it like being a working mom and a wife?
And then at 31.
Yeah.
Right? You're a millennial working mom.
Yeah. So I just, that's a loaded question, but I think just overall, it's not easy, but for me, it's worth it because, I grew up, I didn't have too many women that I looked at as far as like, I want to be like that person when I grow up. And the number one thing that I want my girls to look at me, I want them to see that they can do anything that they want to do. And that might look like being a working mom or, being the head of recruiting, which is, what I do. So I just think that while it's tough being a wife and working mom, I think you have to just really learn how to do the balancing act. And some days I'm really great at that, and some days I fail. Most days I fail. But I'm thankful for your grace and God's grace and, my tenacity to wake up and keep doing it. There are days where I want to pack my bags and leave my phone at home and not tell anybody.
What days are these?
Every day. No, just kidding. But I love being your wife and I love being a mom to our children. So I couldn't ask for a better title.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you wish you knew before you entered this journey with me? Now that's a loaded question.
That right. I think what I wish I knew was that not every relationship and marriage looks like somebody else's. So, I think our generation is big on like the relationship goals thing, and you really have no idea what's happening behind closed doors, right? And so I just kind of wish I knew that. I think I had this thought in my mind that once you get married, everything's just happy and exciting and nothing bad happens. And then you get married and have kids and it's the opposite. So I think I kind of wish I wish I knew that. And then I also wish I knew that marriage was hard. I don't think I knew that. I didn't, when you talk to people and you see pictures, everything's like so happy. And then when you're actually living it, it's hard. And I wish I knew also how we evolve as people and we change as we get older. I mean, we hear that all the time, but to actually live it out is a whole other thing. And so I wish, with all of that said, I wish I knew those things because I feel like maybe some of the really tough stuff that we've been through wouldn't have happened, although I'm very grateful that it did. And for those of you who know what we've been through, I'm sure that's kind of hard to hear, but I just really think that had it not happened, what's happening now, who we are, wouldn't be so beautiful. So those are kind of the things that I wish I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a great story. Literally, they gave an example basically saying when you have a baby, you go through labor, all this stuff is all good, right? You're excited, new baby's coming, mama's push. Oh, you got a baby. The nurses come in, you cut the umbilical cord, right? Everybody's so excited. Family comes in, they're sending flowers, people are bringing you dinners, right? You're in the hospital, they give you a celebration dinner, and then 3 days later, they send you home, and it's like, all right, go be parents.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, the nurse, she let me take a nap last night. I got people coming there doing the formula. They told me how to do the swaddle. Now I'm like, did she go left over right? Was it right over left? Now you have to go do this on your own. The same thing with a wedding, right? You get all these people coming, you're celebrating, open bar, we're having a good time, praise God. They've tied the knot, they're living their life, they have their union. All right, goodbye everybody, have fun on your honeymoon. All right, now go learn how to be married. Right. Mm-hmm. For us, that's kind of how it happened. We had to figure these things out on our own. So I think the humbling experience of going through it, failing, doing it wrong, and not having any guidance and just having to put the pieces together, that road, the road most traveled these days, right? Because not a lot of people have that experience of what a happy home looks like, what growing up with both parents, married together. Yeah. For their entire life. Not many people have that. So going down this path of resistance, of overcoming obstacles, has taught us so much that us committing to breaking that generational curse for both of our families and committing to that for the long run is going to be exponential for our kids.
Yeah. And that, sure. I was going to say that. I think one of our biggest goals right now in our marriage is to do it the right way so our children can see a happy, healthy mom and dad who love each other, who love God, so they can essentially grow up and be whatever they want to be. Maybe they don't want to be a husband or a wife, but at least if they are, they'll know what that looks like. Whereas like for us, I think us entering into marriage, neither one of us knew what a healthy one looked like. So I think that's why we struggled so much in our marriage.
Yeah, and for me, I'm a quote mantra based person, and everybody always pours into you, and especially as a newly married couple, it's just keep God first, put God at the center, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
Like we didn't. What does that even look like? Like, do we just read the Bible together? Like, where do we start? Do we start in the New Testament? Like, what do we do? Like, she's a new Christian, right? We actually had to go through the process of her learning how to pray. Like she got baptized, and I was in another country at the time, right? And basically I left her. She didn't know, you didn't know what exactly you needed to do. And thank God for the small group of Walk Church, right? Of helping in that way while I wasn't even around.
Yeah.
But we had no blueprint. We had no idea. I was going this way, she was going that way, and how are we going to keep God in the center? And neither one of us know which way we're going, right?
Yeah, and I really, in a spirit of transparency, and that's what you'll get in these 6 episodes, I really don't think we were walking the same path together until 2020. Like until the beginning of this year. I think we both were walking together in the beginning, then we started walking our own paths, then I would try to pull Sam my way, he would try to pull me his way, and what we really decided in the beginning of this year was, let's figure out what our way looks like instead of trying to make each other go one or the other way. And so ever since then, I feel like we are on a really good, we finally get it.
Yeah.
We're getting it.
And respectfully understanding, like, she's her own individual person. Like, we can agree to disagree. Yeah. Like, I don't want her to believe what I believe in my way of doing business, right? And her beliefs of how my business should be run, or we have different political views or religious views, or not football teams, not religious views. We both believe in Jesus, thank God. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Just like organically, we're just two different people, but we're on this journey together. Like, she's entitled to her own opinion. Her feelings are valid. Like, I can't tell her that she should feel a certain way or she should believe a certain way, right? She should read a specific book. I can encourage her, right, to read a specific book, but she can read those words from those pages, but interpret them a completely different way. And she's entitled to that, but we're doing this together. Yeah. That's super cool. I'm glad. I feel like even now I'm getting to know you more. Like, because this is our first time doing this, right? And it's super new, fresh questions that were asked. They're the same questions that we typically would ask if we went and hung out with a new couple, right? People would get to know us, but like asking ourselves these questions, it's cool to see how you answer them. Yeah. All right, last question of the day. So there's a young lady out there, a young couple out there, a young entrepreneurial woman or a corporate woman, right? What do you tell her, or new mom? Let's any of those things, right? What do you tell her to encourage her, to help her get from where she is right now to where she wants to be, right? She's a new mom or new wife, starting a new job. Yeah.
So I just think for all of those things, give yourself grace. I know for myself, I didn't do that enough. I just tried to be the best mom, the best wife, the best worker, the best daughter, and it just gets exhausting and you burn out, and then you're none of those things, right? So give yourself grace, self-care, even though it's really tough. I know, especially for moms, we'll go book a hair appointment and we'll feel guilty the whole time. So, but more importantly, God created you to do whatever it is that you're doing. So if you're a working mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you don't have children, if you don't want children, God created you exactly that way, and love yourself in His image, not in anyone else's.
Cool. Yeah. I affirm that. Like that, like, you speak in my language. That's my thing. Like, I don't like these boxes that society puts us in to say because you're a woman, you should stay home to take care of the kids and
Yeah.
take care of the house.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't believe in any of those things, right? I believe that we get to decide, we choose the life that we want to live, right? If there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. So if we know who we are inside, right, and we can stay true to who we are, we can be and do whatever the heck we want to do.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. And I think a lot of women, you know, that's just kind of how society has groomed us, even to, you know, as a millennial. I think as a millennial, we are looked at as like we should be working moms. We shouldn't be stay-at-home moms. You know, I have some stay-at-home mom friends that feel guilty for staying at home. So at the end of the day, I think just talking to yourself and like knowing who you are internally, what drives you, what makes you happy, be secure in that, and you will just be a better friend, wife, mom, worker, sister, brother, you know, all that. So
it was a pleasure having you. Like this was cool, and I'm excited that we get to do this 5 more times, and hopefully it won't be the last time, right? Even after the series is over.
Right.
But I'm like 2019 is going to look completely different, right? We didn't have all happy times in 2019.
No.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the real. So I encourage you guys to listen in, and thank you guys so much for tuning in with me and sticking and rocking with Hoops to Homes. And thank you to my beautiful wife. I appreciate you.
I love you.
I love you. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Everybody that's been rocking with Hoops to Homes, thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, give me some feedback. What do you guys want to hear in the next episode? What would you like to see, and what would you like us to talk about on this next episode? If you're on Instagram, add me at Hoops to Homes, at Sam Coleman Jr. I'll see you guys on the next one.